Welcome to the Queensland preview show brought to you by Betfair, and it appears to be also Edward's Saddle World in Toowoomba. Curls are sporting the new Panama hat. Where are you off to, big boy, in that?
I got this from Colombia, actually, when I was over there. I'm off to Gatton today, mate. I'm off to Gatton in the heart of the Lockyer Valley, the food bowl of southeast Queensland. It'll be good. It's about 25 degrees, not a cloud in the sky, very slight breeze just to keep the temperature down, and possibly the worst 7-race card on form that you've ever come across for a tab meeting. So I can't wait.
What's the snack of choice at the Gatton races?
I'm not sure whether they're catering at the moment there. It'd be touch and go. There's a little canteen out the back there that don't do a bad steak burger. So steak burger and a sugar-free Coke's on the wish list.
I don't know how you guys drink the sugar-free Coke. It's full strength or nothing for me. Now, Doomben, looks like it's sunny in Toowoomba, but Doomben, there's 6 to 10 mil forecast, so it's a good 4 at the moment, rail 3. It's a big watch, isn't it? So it'll either be a good or a soft 5 on Saturday. Doomben.
Yeah, it just obviously with as the weather warms up a little bit around the state, which it has been the last week or two, the rain gets very patchy. So we could get 20 mils on Doomben or nothing, and gets 10 mils across the road at Eagle Farm. So the rail's in a not a bad position, I think, to be able to adjust on the fly as you need to. It's pretty fair, the 3 metre, I think, from memory. So yeah, it'd be an interesting day and weather dependent.
Seems to be a pretty incident-free week up in Queensland. The only thing that sort of caught my eye was your newfound love affair with the Wally Yard and Luke Dittman and that partnership. Want to shed any light or discuss that further? Or
I wouldn't say it had become an obsession to back the right Waller runner, but I just feel like I'm getting a handle on it. And we've backed a few the last few weeks that have got the job done for us. Most recently was Voila yesterday. It's pretty up and about. Dickman's been riding just more recently for Waller, I suppose. And, he won those couple of Group 3s in Brisbane for him. And the relationship seems to have sort of blossomed a little bit from there. So I'm not saying that's coincided with better results, but the horses are going better. So something's changed in Queensland for those horses and for that stable, and they're getting the results. So follow with confidence going forward.
Do you think you'd go better if you relocated to the Gold Coast?
I'm considering it. My performance on the punt at Toowoomba the last month has been terrible, and the Gold Coast has been the opposite. So, maybe I am coastal. But I will see. I mean, Chris Waller is too good a trainer, not to win races. And with the quality of horse flesh that they have, I thought they were underperforming atrociously in Queensland, and looks to have turned the corner now. So, all aboard the Waller train.
Now, looking at Doomben, let's cover the last 2 races. They're interesting. The second last race, race 8, is the 1,050-metre race. Tullio's the favourite from the Golden Yard 280. Nicanova's a surprise entry there off a 8 or 9 week break, $6. Rock Beat $7. Justorm $8.50. $15. Guard of Honour, Tycoon Ace $12. Mr. Marble is $12, and Papa Joe around the $15 quote. Malvern Estate 21, Cool Sequence 34. I've gone through the field there, but to my eye, I guess the runner that jumps out, the class runner, has got the 3 kilo claim. Nathan Fazarakli. How do you say it?
Fazarakli.
Fazarakli, right?
Like exactly.
It looks more suited over 1,400 and 1,600 metres. Takes up a little bit of market percentage there. What's your angle on this race? And do you think Nicanova is a winning prospect, or is it more appealing to bet on that race given he's taken up so much percentage?
Yeah, look, I'm probably happy to bet around him. I'll mark him longer than $6 that's currently available. And I'll be a bit harsh on him too because of the claim with the jock and, obviously that freshen. He has got a class factor, obviously, but there's, traditionally Queensland speedy type horses, so and there's some pretty nice speeds to sit here. I thought Tulio extremely well in here. This is a horse I think he's won 4 straight now since resuming, all on rain affected going. Obviously, if the rain comes, he'll be favoured a lot more. Probably short enough as it is now on a dry deck. And I sort of wouldn't be looking to get involved at these prices. Another interesting runner is Mr. Marbaloo's. Toowoomba trained horse. Kevin Kemp stables in good form. This horse, I remember this horse winning on debut because it had a couple of jump outs and was unsighted and the stable had no rap for it. Come out and won on debut by about 8, SP'd about $21 and then went on to win its next 150 runs in a row or something. So how we didn't get involved in that thing winning on debuts still haunts me. But he has jumped out a few times this preparation, most recently on the 30th of July where he was an impressive winner. It was a 9.25 trial, but the 2 horses that it beat have won, the midweek Metropolitan Grade, but over a mile and 1,400 a mile. So probably didn't beat up on a lot, but still did it well enough. I'm interested to see how he comes back. Interesting runner there. Even a horse like Rock Beat, if the track stays dry, there's looks plenty of speed in the race there, and it can be one that can be finishing hard late as well if the track stays dry. But really will depend on sort of how much rain we get. Like if you look at the 2 Sears runners, for example, Tycoon Ace will run well on rain affected ground, where I probably prefer Rock Beat on the dry. So tricky race, but yeah, I'll be pricing Nick and Over pretty harshly and betting around him.
I think that looking at the quality of the field, it looks like the market will tell the story. It's interesting. I know you love breeding. You like breeders. It looks like you're going to the horse stables, but yeah, Tulio is out of a Magic Millions winner and more than already won the Slipper. So it's only really likely race. It's had 12 starts for 5 wins, rarely out of a top 3 finish, finally delivering on the promise. And you look back through its campaigns, and it was off the scene for 538 days at one stage, looking at puntingform.com.au. So it put a hole in them last time, and if it can translate that form to a good track, it'll be interesting to see what the market does there. But
yeah, definitely. And look, and the other interesting one, I suppose, is that stable as well, with Just Orm, the stablemate. It's a horse that runs well when it's in the market, is the word I was looking for. So yeah, it's a horse that's going to probably map nicely, has a good gait, has a good jock. If it's solid in the market, it's there to win, and it's a chance as well. So very even race, and I think you're right. The market fluctuations late will be as good as indicator as anything.
Yeah, I do recall when Just Orm knocked over a a boom stablemate in the name of Vega One, the Sunshine Coast over the 1,000 metres, which was quite controversial. The young Bailey Nordruff and the Gong Camp. So
good form.
Yeah.
It's a good form line, isn't it?
Vega One was enormous in Australia as well.
Yeah. Anyway,
very good. What could have been?
Indeed.
Anyway, let's skip on to race 9. It's another really interesting race. I thought benchmark 80. You got Matty Rocks was impressive at Ipswich last time. It's a 1,200 metre race. $2.50. Kylie's $7.50. Broken Arrow $8. I Dream of Green $8. Garden Rouge $13. All Important $13. $14 Love Squirrels. 12 Feet Boy, Catsby around the sort of $20, $26 mark, and much better the rest. What are your thoughts looking at the early market here?
Yeah, this is interesting for me because of the price of the favourite, right? So Matty Rocks has come up $2.50 off its Ipswich win. Now, the the guys that get my stuff will know that I've been very keen on horses coming out of that Ipswich meeting that beat the bias on the day. We've seen a few winners, Voila yesterday, who ran second to Matty Rocks, went around, got to $3 at some stage. I love when you say, how did they bet that after you back the winner?
How? How did you find it? How did they bet that?
How did you find that favourite? So Matty Rocks got Dream Run, stayed inside. So it was on, didn't beat the bias, is what I'm saying, right? So had all the favours, holds off Voila, who flashed late and wasn't far off it on the line. So you draw a line between those two, and it's not a 250 chance, is what I'm saying. It's a longer price than that. Yes, it does get favours here, but on a more even track, I think it brings some others into it. It's still got the job done, fair enough. Love Squirrels come out of that race as well. Love Squirrels sort of track sort of through the fence. I don't know whether it's hard to sort of tell. It'd be nice to get some stewards footage of the straight. It was hard to tell with Robbie. It's hard to tell whether he was interested in trying to get through or not. He does that little bounce sort of to look like that he's trying to. The bird may have flown, and I don't know. It was just really inconclusive, I suppose, is what I'm saying. Matty Rocks will cross it. Love Squirrels will track Matty Rocks. I anticipate that Kylise will lead fence. So, you could have a situation there where, fence in run, depending on how the track's playing, could be advantageous, which sort of gives Love Squirrels, should be a little bit shorter. Kylise led and had a nice easy run in transit and was able to hold off its rivals the other day, but I think this is a little bit stronger. All Important can go forward. I Dream of Green can go forward. Maps will play a huge part here. One that just looked overs based on its last start victory was 6 Broken Arrows. Pretty arrogant when it won up here the other day. The Garibaldi, I think, started favourite and For Miami led, and they went, reasonably slow. And Broken Arrows just sat last, east to the centre, and I'll have to double check for me there, Scott. I'm trying to bring it up, but I think it sort of got home in about 11 lengths quicker than average or something. It was... Yeah,
the all-average benchmark, looking at punting form. Yeah,
it was a savage last 600. I know they went slow enough in front.
Huge.
And obviously in this field is, it's not going to, the map sort of against it, I suppose, from the gate. It does go all the way back. So it's probably why it's $8. Just on the raw numbers, I sort of had it a fair bit shorter than that. But have to make some adjustments for map, obviously. But, you can do some adjustments for map earlier in the day. But then, because it's just the way of the game now, you just got to adjust on the run. So, if there's an opportunity for and the track plays fair, well, it'll shorten. So, but just one that just form and going well in a race that's got a very long tail with a number of horses that just couldn't possibly win. So, the back markers could encounter traffic issues, and it may be that those 3 that are on settle in the first 5 rails in run could be advantaged.
Yeah, I'd echo the same thoughts. Broken Arrows can do it off slow and fast tempos, so I think it's definitely a run in form, and the freshen might help it. But again, you've got so long to decide, so there's no use rushing in to take the prices. There's not much advantage to knock the early mark around. I wouldn't have thought.
Not at this stage. There's a fair bit of water to go under the bridge. Lol. If it rains, so we'll see what happens. But it's. I know that last week was a winning set, so it's easy to say. But it's just so you just feel so much confident back on drawing decks. It's a lot easier to just feel more confident, more comfortable betting into these better tracks.
Yeah, there's all sorts of dramas down south in Victoria and Sydney with weather conditions and overwatering tracks and dead fall and these soft policies and watering for jumps tracks, and it's a nightmare. Definitely, punters want good fours, and Robbie Waterhouse his views, and everyone's I guess the conversation's been done to death.
There's absolutely no place for jumps racing on a flat card. Like, there's no place for it. Go and have your jumps meetings. There's no place for a jumps race on a normal race day card. No place for it.
The bull?
The bull can have an all jumps day. They proved that during COVID.
Yeah, they did.
They did. They proved it. Anyway, Metropolitan days. What do they have? That Sandown. They have the hillside and the lakeside and
yeah, on the Sunday. Yeah.
Anyway, jumps racing, eh?
Story for another day. I'm a big fan of jumps racing. Look, Doomben race 2. There's a couple of other interesting runners or another race. A little bit extra meat on the bone. Say Hey is the favourite. A horse I don't mind is Katie's Daughter. It's first up. Blinker's first time. And then there's a roughie there that tickles your fancy, Social, from the Kevin Kemp Toowoomba trainer.
Yeah, if the rain comes here, I just thought that might be one that's over the odds. He's had a couple of runs. I think I might have been on him too, or we may have been on him as well. I'm pretty sure the service had been on him. He ran into Tullio, I think it was, when we were on him one day at the Gold Coast. One of those wins anyway. I just don't think he's a 900-metre horse. That was sort of what sort of, that's what sort of the appeal is. It gets up to 1100. It was good first up at Toowoomba, went back to the inside and in inferior ground. I probably should have won first up. And then it's had those 2 runs on rain-affected grounds over 900. And, while it didn't win, it was still a good enough efforts. And I just thought if you can get some rain-affected ground sort of at 1200 that, he might be, a sneaky sort of something small to win, bigger the place proposition. And, if there's a bit of rain around and we get to a dead track, well, this horse could fit that bill. I should say it's a mare. So this horse could fit at a big price. It's $5 a hole at some places. So, that was sort of one. But, Say Hey, we were on last start. Just went too hard in front. I think they went out 6 lengths faster than average. And, it was found wanting late in the race that they ran their last furlong in about 10 lengths slower than average. They're all dead on their feet on that heavy track. So, look, anyway, we'll just see how the day pans out. But, at this stage, it looks like a pretty good betting card, to be honest. If we can sort of stay in that good 4, soft 5 range, it'd be ideal.
Big weather watch. Now, I better go because it sounds like the kids may have burnt the house down. I can't smell the smoke yet, but you got to get to Gatton also. So this week you've got Ipswich Friday. You're going to pick the eyes out of the card, and then you got the double header as usual, Doomben and Toowoomba, and you're handling the workload of treat. Curls, slip, slot, slap.
Indeed.
Can't wait for sunshine down in Melbourne. Can't wait for the spring to keep going, but definitely finding winners up there in the sunshine state. So keep up the good work.
I'll do my best, and keep your eye on Sky on the tally today, mate. You might see me leaning over the mountain yard, just giving someone a spray rather than doing it on Twitter. I might.
Too good.
Yeah.
Happy playing. Thanks.